welcome to another edition of the Fashion Grunge Podcast. I'm very, very excited to bring you this one. There are three of us here today. I'm your host, Lauren, as always, and who else is here?
Jai, hi.
Hi, I'm Jules.
Yay, so Jai and Jules are here today too, and we're going to be talking about The Craft, which was actually the recent poll on Instagram and Facebook was either The Craft or Natural Born Killers. Those were really the two options, which one to do next. So The Craft got an overwhelming response, but Natural Born Killers was not that far behind, and that one we're gonna do, so don't worry, we're still gonna do it. But we're gonna talk about The Craft. It's on Netflix right now in case anyone wants to run out and go see it for the first time or again. So I just watched it literally maybe again and ended maybe 30 minutes ago. So I'm kind of fresh in what I remember and everything about it. But what are you guys' thoughts about it? Jules, let's hit you first. What's your deal with The Craft?
So one thing that I love about The Craft, I feel like what really keeps me in the game is the fashion. Just the fashion, the aesthetic of the whole story. But I had fun rewatching it. It's been so long, like I can't tell you the last time I saw it. And so there are like pieces and clips that I remembered. But yeah, it was fun, and like it kind of revamped my love for Nancy. I think she's just like kind of crazy, and I just love that about her. But yeah, there were like some things where like maybe some of the comments or the jokes, I was like, ooh, that did not age well.
Yeah.
That was one
tends to
thing.
happen.
Yeah, that was like one thing that just like kept coming up, and I took like a couple notes, and one was like, "Ooh, outdated."
Casual racism number
Yeah.
64.
God.
Like let's throw that in there.
Yeah, that was a reoccurring issue in this film.
Yeah, which is weird because I read. I read on like Wikipedia that apparently they rewrote Rochelle's character to be like a biracial girl who has problems with race. So that was not actually initially in the screenplay.
Oh.
So that's like a tidbit. But I was kind of like, oh, I mean, maybe they wanted to bring awareness to it and because I guess we didn't know much about her as a character. That's kind of all we knew was that Rochelle didn't like her because she was black. But yeah, because we didn't know her family or anything.
Damn.
It's kind of crazy. Vijay, what about you?
But wait, how old were you when you watched it, Jules? Like the first time?
I think when I first saw it, like I don't even know if I saw all of it. I was maybe like 8, like 7 or 8.
Oh wow, you were so young. Oh gosh.
That was like like 10? No, you're older than that. I think you last saw it 10 years ago.
Yes.
You first saw it.
Yeah. But it was good. It almost felt like watching just like a new movie because it was really, so much of it just is more memory of like the aesthetics of the film than actually following the plot. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Like one of the like craziest moments that stuck out for me was that man with a snake that kept following, what's her name?
Sarah.
Sarah, thank you. And like I just like want to know why the snake, like what is the meaning behind that?
I don't know. Is it Nancy? Nancy would eventually like kind of weave her way into her house. There were the snakes at the end. Because she was terrified of snakes. So I think Nancy knew that when she did that weird spell at the end, where there's like snakes and bugs everywhere. Maybe that was like, Nancy's coming. Like there's this weird snake that's going to like pop into your life. And then they run into him again. Like when he's hanging out with them.
Yeah, and he gets run over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what is everyone's what's everyone's feeling on the group, on the 4 girls?
Oh, wait, hold on, Jai, what's your first when did you first see it?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, then we'll talk about it.
I think it's weird because I was 13 when it came out. 13 or 14, I can't remember. But we were watching movies like at the cinema with friends at the time. Like I was like go out by myself like from 11. So like we watched it. I think we bunked off school. I'm not really sure, but I watched it with friends from school, and I'm sure I skipped school that day. I don't know. But yeah, like it's. I mean, I liked it a lot then, and I feel like I rewatched it yesterday, and it remains pretty solid. You know, after all these years, because I feel like the story is so relevant even now,
Yeah, it's true.
and like even the obviously like fashion and like everything, there's so many elements about the film that I feel are just pretty now still. I mean, you know, and I'm sure even if you're like 15 or 16 and you watch it, it will still speak to you, or like you'll be like, yeah, that story, like, you know, in school, like there's always like someone mean, and there's like little groups, and you know, popular kids and whatever. But yeah, I remember that there was this sort of hype about the film when it came out. I mean, maybe not right when it came out, but when we watched it, like maybe after a few months, it came out. Like a lot of kids in school watched it as well, and like there's always like girls who there was definitely like a lot of girls who were like, oh yeah, I practice or like black magic
Totally.
too.
Yeah.
Like, do you have that? Because
Oh, I did. Yeah,
okay, so
totally.
it's I was in Mexico City at the time, and this is like the memory. It's not so much the film, but it kind of like what happened when the film came out. You know, you're young, so you're pretty what's the word? Impressionable, I suppose.
Yeah.
And as you both know, like everyone, like Mexico is like well, voodoo and black magic is like a big deal, and it's practiced quite a lot. It's really popular in Mexico, even in Mexico City. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, like there's this huge market where you can buy like all the like stuff to make potions and whatever, like spells and stuff. It's just really big in the. It's part of the culture basically, and so I was always a bit spooked by that, and I didn't really that I found that really scary. But there was like girls who were like actually popular girls, and they would like put spell on guys, whether they worked or not. I don't really
Yeah, I
know.
had the same thing in my school too. This girl put
But
a
they
spell on this
were,
guy.
yeah, they would go after school to this market that's like in the middle of the city. It's really
Oh,
famous,
wow.
and they would
This
like
sounds like a
come
movie.
in.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah,
bunch
it's
of
so
like
weird.
Mexican
I
teenage girls like going to this like weird like market to like do some
Dude,
weird
that would be
spell.
tight as shit. I would love to
Yeah.
make that
Well,
movie.
I'm sure there's been like lots of documentaries about it. Like I know,
Yeah, I'm sure probably in Mexico.
no, no,
People don't
like
know about it.
Days and like ID and like
Oh.
and all that, like so many. Vice definitely has some. I'm
Oh,
sure
wow.
because
Okay.
it's just a huge thing about. It's just really well known, you know. But anyway, like yeah, so I just remember girls doing like spells or whatever, putting spells on guys, and there were all these like little things that you learn, like you will put like you will write someone's name and put it in a bottle and put it in the freezer for someone who wanted to harm you, and like all this
Oh,
weird stuff.
wow.
So I think my memory of the film is more the feeling and like sort of experiences around it, like
Oh.
Wow.
you know, girls doing that, and you will be scared of like getting on the wrong side of one of them because you know, and yeah. Anyway, like it's the sort of film that you rewatch at sleepovers with your friends, and you're
That
like, I
that's
can't
mine.
sleep, right?
That's when I
Right?
first
Yeah.
saw it, was at a sleepover when I
Oh,
was like
really? No
14. Yeah.
way! Oh my god!
I have that written out. I was like, I first saw it when I was 14 at a sleepover. And there was a girl in my, I think she was in my like eighth grade class, which I guess, yeah, I don't know what you're like 13, 14. She like was totally like practiced Wicca. She was like, I remember was going out with this older guy, like 2 grades above us. And then he broke up with her and then she like put the spell on him and then he got really sick and then like didn't
What?
come to school for a long time.
Oh
So yeah, we were all like kind of like, oh gosh, maybe she's like not wrong. Maybe she's like kind of has something going on. But yeah, it was super weird. But it was around when that movie came out, and I remember I had a uniform at my school. It wasn't a Catholic school, but I was like, oh man, I wish like we could just kind of like free ball our uniforms like they seem to do in like every TV show or movie where they
no!
like go
Yeah.
to Catholic school. But I'm like, wait, I don't know any Catholic schools that let you just kind of like wear untucked shirts,
They
t-shirts,
don't.
like
Yeah,
a
they
broad
don't.
white
No.
collar, like with your patent leather, like trench coat. Like,
Yeah, that's highly inaccurate. You would get
Yeah.
you would get
Yeah.
like 2-hour after school detention if you had like an unbuttoned shirt, you know, at like a
yeah.
strict private school.
But that was kind of, I mean, I
yeah.
knew that probably wasn't true, but yeah, it was kind of funny. But yeah, I guess, yeah, going back to Jules' question, what does everyone think about the group? You mean just as the girls, like all the girls?
Mhm, yeah.
What do you think, Jules? What do you think about the group?
So just full disclosure, I'm totally gonna need help with names.
Oh, like the character name?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But one that like really stuck out to me was the girl with the burn marks.
Oh, Nev Campbell?
Yeah,
What's her? Bonnie.
Bonnie. Yeah, and so what I thought was really interesting about Bonnie is, there's like all of these, rumors and things about why she, is burnt and why she doesn't show her body.
Oh, that's right.
And, and then they go in and kind of show like, hey, like this is actually, something that like, this normal teenage girl is having to deal with. Like her mom's taking her to the doctor and like really wants her to like be able to live a normal teenage girl life. And I kind of liked her, just like backstory. It just like her character development was pretty good, I think.
Oh, Bonnie?
Yeah.
I kind of hated how the fact that she got her scars removed and immediately that means she became like an ultra bitch. Like as soon as she,
right. I kind of forget that she
as
like
soon as she
changes
came
her
in,
whole-
she changes her whole demeanor. But I think it's also because like her spell worked, so she's probably feeling like really powerful.
Really confident. Yeah.
Yeah, like oh shit, I
But-
can make my stuff.
But I feel like
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah. All I was gonna say was like I thought that whole storyline about her scars was kind of like I don't know. It made me like feel empathetic for her.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
And I also love the fact that Skeet Ulrich or whatever, Chris, he was like, yeah, that one over there, like she has these weird burn scars. He's like, I haven't seen them, but like friends of mine have. Like, or like he was very quick to be like, oh, I would never hook up with her.
Yeah.
Like you will in Scream in like a year and you'll try to kill her. But anyway, but like aside from that, I was like, oh my God, I love that they're both in this movie and like they don't interact at all. And then when you see them in Scream, they're like dating and it's like literally maybe a few months later because it came out the same year. But it's he's very quick to be like, oh, I haven't seen it. Like I wouldn't hook up with her, but like friends I might have. Like he's kind of embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jai?
Yeah. I mean, I really liked. I feel like I love the group because they were all different, and I feel like at the same time the thing that united them was that they were sort of outcast or like, I don't know, not very popular. They all kind of had their own thing going on. And you had groups of friends like that in school, Like,
I was in that group.
Yeah, me too. I was
Totally never popular. Not that you probably couldn't figure that out, but totally never popular. Definitely on the out fringes.
I think it's so sad. Like when you're that age, if you're into different like things, if you're not into mainstream stuff, then you're put in that you're labeled as like a weird kid or a loser or whatever. Like,
speaking of like Wiccans, I remember I had just transferred from my private school to back into public school because like I just hated private school and like within like the first like 2-3 months there were just rumors that I was a Wiccan because just like the way I dress and I was like no, this is just the way I like to dress.
Oh wow. I don't know if anyone ever thought I was, but I was like the weird Marilyn Manson girl. But I was like, fuck you. I went to go see him at Antichrist. And I bet all of you guys now are probably like, man, I wish we went to that show. Yeah, I was definitely like the weird person who wore like black lipstick and like Marilyn Manson shirts.
Hell yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I had that spike collar. I remember like making my mom go to like the quote punk store like down in DC in Georgetown. Smash Records, shout out to the original Smash Records, but they had these like collars and my mom was like, that's a dog collar. I'm not getting you that that weird black thing with like spikes on it. And I was like, I want it, it's so cool. And then I eventually like she was like, no, that's crazy. And then I eventually like saved up and like, went down and bought it. And she was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're wearing that. I can't believe you got it. But it was like Nancy's, like the one that she has
Oh
when she's at
yeah,
the party and she has
it's
that like
pretty cool.
yeah, with like a belt on the back. It's really cool. I wish I still had it because I mean, Lord, fashion editorials and everything, like they use stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were so cheap at the time as well. I definitely
hmm
had some, but I mean, I wasn't at that age. I wasn't. Well, you mean at 14? You used to
Yeah,
wear like
14,
that?
15, yeah. I
No,
stopped after
I
a while.
wasn't. I wasn't wearing stuff like that then.
You
But
were
before
popular,
that,
Jai, huh?
well, because I dated a popular kid. But I no, I think it's weird because I didn't really belong to just one group. I actually had like
Oh,
three
you're a
groups. So
floater.
no, like it's weird. Like I feel that I had three different groups and I would hang out with they
Damn.
were at different times. So like I'll be hanging out with the popular kids, like
Oh, that's
the popular
cool.
girls with the because my boyfriend was like the popular kid or whatever, and he was like the troublemaker cute whatever. But then I also hung up with like the really smart girls because we would like do work together. It's really weird. I was part of
Oh,
like
that's
three
cool.
different groups, but I mean I could totally relate to the characters, and I feel like
Oh,
at different
yeah.
times, especially before when I was like 13 or 12, like just like Jules, I went through that, like went from Catholic, well not even Catholic, well, it was like a
Yeah.
non-school. I went to a non-school and it was just like a girls' school only, and it was so strict and awful. And then I went from private Catholic school to public, and that was like such a shock, And like I was used to being the new girl, but I wasn't affected by it, but you do get that at first, like a lot of boys kind of like calling you names or being like, oh, you're stuck up because you're from private school, like I don't know, just like a bit of bullying, but never like that bad. Um,
Yeah.
but it's still, I'm sure we all can relate to just the dynamics and like,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
definitely.
having that friend who's a bitch or, I mean, or
Wh-
whatever, or
What did you
someone
guys
who's,
think about like the relationship between Chris and Sarah? Like, do you think that Chris, who's like played by Skeet Ulrich
yeah.
Ulrich or Ulrich or whatever, do you think that he genuinely liked her at first, or did he just want to like conquer her because she was like the new girl? And then
Um,
obviously like the whole thing happened where he got that spell. But
My theory is that he actually liked her, but because he's, kids at that age, you're immature and stuff, and I feel like he didn't like the fact that she said no to like having sex with him, basically. And I feel like
Mhm.
it was like a revenge, basically, just making things up because he didn't want to seem like the loser by saying, "Oh, we didn't do it." Because when you're that age, boys always want to show off that they had sex with girls, and
Yeah.
I don't think it. I don't think he came from a bad place. I don't think he was like awful, but I feel that to make himself sound like better, he said that about her, and he just wanted to fit in, I guess, with his friends, and I don't know.
And he did the same thing to Nancy because Nancy
Oh
like tried to
yeah.
warn him or warn her, and then she's like, "Yeah, don't hang out with him. He's a jerk." And
Oh, but I
then
think they had sex.
yeah,
They
that's what I was
actually
gonna
did.
say. But then
Yeah.
they said like, "Oh, he said the same thing about Nancy." But then later, I think like, oh, that's right, when she like turns into
Yeah.
Sarah, like yeah,
Sarah.
at the party, yeah, she's like, "We had some pretty good time." So I'm
Exactly.
assuming,
So
yeah, that they probably did hook up at some point. Maybe no one knew about it
or
because,
maybe he's just that kind of boy who just sleeps around with any
well,
like
yeah, I mean, yeah, he's supposed to be like a dumb, like a totally like dumb guy, like dumb jock guy, I
he
guess.
didn't deserve to die, obviously.
No, oh my gosh. Even though that was probably like that is written down as one of my like epic scenes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
same,
It's
totally.
like the part I think I have a lot. It's like party scene, calling the corners, like there are just a lot. The epic fight at the end, which I think won an MTV Movie Award for Best Fight that year, which is it's pretty
Oh
cool. If you look
wow,
it up on
yeah.
YouTube, you can see them accepting the award. Or used to be able to. It was up there, like Fruza Balk and what's her name? Robin Tooney. But yeah, it's kind of funny that I was like, oh yeah, and light as a feather, stiff as a board. Yeah, that's like another. I tried that. Did
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that was
totally.
like the the what is the comment she makes? She's like, I think I just broke my finger,
Oh yeah.
or just sprained my finger.
Yeah. I think I just sprained my finger.
I definitely never
And the
tried
mom just
that.
like waltzes in.
That was my experience.
What, your mom like walking in?
Oh no, just like spraining my finger trying to do this
Oh.
spell and it's not working.
I have like one of my notes I have is that it's kind of funny. It's like women empowerment turns bad because at first they're all really cool. I mean the three girls are obviously already friends, and then Sarah comes in and then they see that she can balance the pencil, or at least Bonnie sees it, and then she's like, "Oh wow, we're going to have a fourth." And then they all have this kind of like really good 20 minutes of like camaraderie, all the montages, and when they do the spells on the guys, and then quickly it turns into like, this is kind of where I mean, not that it's a bad thing, but this is where I could start to see that there was definitely not a female writer in the room, because all of a sudden, like, women, it just like, they spurt. They just go jealous, mean. I'm gonna attack you. I'm gonna like obviously whatever, Fruza Balk, Nancy, she's like knifing Sarah at the end. I mean, she's really like, she's gonna kill her. I mean, it's not even like, I just want to hurt you. Like, she's trying to kill her. I mean, because she's more powerful than she is. And it just kind of turns into this like, oh, once they do the spells, they get what they want. They can't just be happy that they all did the spells and got what they want. They have to all turn on each other. And Nancy has to try to control the other two because one's getting more powerful. I was like, oh, here we go.
But I feel that that's sort of believable in a way, because
unfortunately,
sadly,
yeah, it is.
you know, as much as we want to say, oh, you know, sisterhood and whatever, which, you know, I feel like when you're that age as well, and like this girl obviously has a lot of issues. Like, she's kind of broken, and like I don't think, I mean, she's never been a good person because of, you know, her upbringing and stuff.
Think about like
her,
so, you know,
her home life.
Her home life is so terrible.
Exactly. So I mean, not that I'm excusing her, but at the same time, I feel like she doesn't know what, you know, she doesn't have any morals or values, and like I feel that they were waiting for this fourth girl, and then now that she's kind of, she also wanted power, she wanted control, you know, she wanted to manipulate everyone else, and so I feel like she recognized that Sarah was more powerful than she was, and like she just didn't like it. So and I feel like the other girls, you know, you did have that in school. Think about it. You had one girl that controlled the group. Not like there will be one person who had like a stronger character and personality, and she will be kind of the leader of the group, and that was a dynamic. And then you have the other girls like just follow her around and just do what she says. And I feel that the fact that Sarah became a threat because she didn't want to be doing what they wanted to do, like, it was like, you know, they weren't happy about it, so they turned. So I kind of think it's believable in a way.
Oh no, it totally is. I hate that I feel like so many films always end up that way. Like, I mean, I know it's not supposed to be like a rosy picture of sisterhood. That's clearly not, this isn't like the Divine Secrets of like the Yaya sisterhood or anything like that, but it just kind of, I was also really surprised that there wasn't a female writer too. There were two men.
Yeah, that's kind of wrong.
It's really like a very woman-centric, you know, young women, you know, and then trying new things, and like, you know, all these different things. They're almost all female characters, even the woman who runs the magic shop. Like, there aren't even any male kind of like separate character. It's like you see the moms, and you see Sarah's dad, I think, a little bit, but I was like, oh wow, they have it like, it's totally just like, there's just women everywhere, and there's
you're right, that makes sense. I mean, unless, sorry, continue.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, you can continue.
No, I was just gonna say something. I was gonna say something dumb. Like, I like to think that the writer, or like, you know, the director, they consult with his partner, like had some kind of female input out there. Like,
I think
he must have done research, like high school research.
The guy,
right?
I read, I think on Wikipedia, that the guy who wrote it, who wasn't the director, who eventually came in and helped write it, he was trying to base it off of high school. Like his own high school kind of experience, which is, I don't know if he knew girls like this in high school, or if there was a group of girls like this that he just kind of made up, like, you know, their personalities, but you know.
But anyway,
Oh yeah, what were you gonna say, Jules?
What I would really like to see what if they remade this movie?
Oh God, they are. I don't even want
Well,
to
they
talk.
are.
Wait, they
Yeah,
are?
I read
Wait, so,
they
so
are.
who
Yeah.
was the writer of it?
There are a bunch of people that I don't know, but
Oh, it's
everyone who watches this one or most fans are like furious. I'm furious. I don't.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so curious because
Oh,
I
you
feel like
are?
and I feel like conceptually it could be an opportunity because if you do think about like, some of the things that happened in the movie, like who's the racist girl who all of her hair starts falling out?
Yeah,
But
It's
she
like
can't say that, obviously.
what? Oh yeah.
Yeah, she wouldn't be able to say that. But honestly, I feel like
But
I
what I'm
never
saying is
get.
like the kind of like the moral lesson of like her
Yeah,
hair falling out, because of these things that she's done and said. And, there's just like this weird sense of, like almost like karma. I'd be interested to see like conceptually how they'd be able to do that in a remake, but it all depends on how that remake is done. It could be a terrible remake.
I mean,
well, remakes are never as good as the original, so that's what I'm gonna say. Like,
there's
it's
like a
really rare.
handful
Yeah,
that
exactly.
are like okay. I feel like if this wasn't such a 90s cult film, I wouldn't have
Yeah,
a problem with it. But the
Oh,
exactly.
fact that it's
Yeah,
like it's up there. It's one of
it's
those
up there.
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's up there. Like I didn't
it,
realize when we did um our Empire Records. I thought Reality Bites when we covered Reality Bites, I thought that was going to be way more popular because more people voted for it. Empire Records was way more popular, like the episode that we did. So I mean, I feel like an Empire Records is another one that's a total cult movie. Like total, not really underground, but I guess the people who do like these kind of films are like 90s, like teen kind of whatever. It's really high up there and The Craft is up there. It's up there with like Clueless.
oh, okay.
Like
Yeah,
it's
it definitely has the same like clueless type of vibe.
Yeah, I don't think they should make it. I think they were trying to do a TV show. I heard
oh
that they actually
wow.
started filming like last year, October. I think they started filming, so I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what is
I
going to
can't
end up.
imagine a TV show would be popular on this
No.
sort of subject. But obviously, I don't think it should be done either. But who knows? Like, I mean, think about it. High school witches, like.
They've
Well,
had Charmed.
They've
I
had
mean,
but they
Sabrina.
were older
well, I
though,
know, but
right?
yeah, Sabrina. Yeah, well, that was kind of like kitschy, I guess. You mean
Sabrina,
the new one
yeah.
or the old one? The
I
one with
mean,
Melissa Joan
The
Hart?
I
old
mean,
one.
yeah, I was thinking the old one, but yeah, they do have the new one too. I've never
Yeah,
watched
that
But
was
that
the new
like
was
one.
like,
weird.
but that was cute. They weren't. It wasn't dark, you know. I think they don't have a show that's so like high school and like witches and like
There's one called The
dark.
Secret Circle that had 2 seasons that was great.
Oh, I
It
don't
got
know. I don't
canceled.
know.
Yeah, but it was like that. It was like a bunch of kids like had these powers and they were in high school, but they were in like different families.
Oh,
And it was kind of like a Romeo and Juliet, like a rival, like magic families. It was actually kind of good, and I think it was based on a book or something. But yeah, no, they haven't had like a major one. I mean, I guess they have that supernatural show. Riverdale's kind of weird. No one has powers, but there's some kind of like weird supernatural like edge to that show, but nothing like The Craft though. It's kind of strange.
yeah.
But who knows? Yeah, I just had that all the girls were lonely at first. I feel like and then they kind of like all kind of got life when they met Sarah. You know, I mean she is like a white witch, I guess you could say. Like she's not working with like black magic. She's
Yeah,
working on like positive energy. So
she's
I feel
like a
like when they
natural. Yeah.
yeah, when they met her, I feel like they all kind of became comfortable. And Sarah was kind of the linchpin. I think you're right, Jai, that Sarah became kind of like, she was like the positive one in the group, and Nancy started to lose her grip because she was like had them over at her house. And when she was like telling them spells, she did that thing where she changed her hair
Yeah.
and her
Yeah.
eyes and all that. So she was
Yeah.
kind of like, "Hey guys, like look at all this cool stuff I can do," but she wasn't destructive. And then obviously like Nancy got the
Yeah.
Yeah,
got
Nancy
the
was
spirit.
I remember when they were like, I think they were like sitting in the quad or something, and Nancy's like in the back, and
Mhm.
then all the other three girls are talking, and then Nancy just kind of storms off. Like that becomes kind of a pattern with Nancy.
Yeah, that she's like mad. I think that's Rochelle was like, yeah, she's mad her spells aren't working. I
Yeah.
think she said like she doesn't want to be white trash or anything. And I was
Yeah.
like,
But I
Yeah.
mean,
oh God.
she's like an angry girl, and like she doesn't really have anything going for her. So I kind of get it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it kind of sucks that she ended up in the end. At least they didn't like kill her though. I feel
Yeah,
like
it
Yeah.
just seems like she
killed
goes
her,
crazy.
Yeah, and she's just in the hospital, like in the restraints, and I was like, oh well,
Yeah, I feel
she'll
like
get better.
you know what's like really crazy about the as I said earlier, like it's more about feelings and like memories from the film when I watched it. But there was like a girl in school who was like that, like really. She used to wear like goth clothes and like black lipstick, and like she was really cute, but she was super unhappy, and like she had like a really tough upbringing and like divorced parents, and she didn't have a lot of money and whatever, and she was just like angry, and she was like my best friend at some
Oh,
point. But then because I started dating this guy who she was in love with, she became really angry at me, and like she beat me up. I'm not even kidding. She
what?
actually, yeah, she basically stopped talking to me and became my enemy. Not that I did anything really, but she was so angry, and she was one of the girls who like previously, like when the film. This is like 2 years after the film came out.
Yeah, I was
No,
gonna
a
say,
year
how old were
after.
you?
Sorry,
You're like,
a year after. No, I was 14 when this happened, and she was so angry. And I feel like when someone has got issues like that, they behave that way, right? So she actually called me and said, I would love to make up and be friends again. I'll meet you at the back of the school after
oh,
classes. And I got there, and there were all these people, and she was like, basically saying, you're a bitch, who do you think you are?
what?
And she started hitting me, and everyone was there. I mean, it was horrible. Like the entire school was watching, because kids just hang out like at the back of the school, like after classes they just chat and stuff. And yeah, it was like one of those like movie scenes
Wow.
where I couldn't do anything. I was just frozen. Like I was so naive, and I really thought that she wanted to talk to me. So I feel like I knew people like Nancy, I feel like this girl, I don't want to even mention her name, but she was like that, because she came from like a broken family, and I think she was just so unhappy, so she needed to be mean to others. And
To
yeah,
feel like she had control over
I mean, I actually thought
oh,
that she broke my ribs. I couldn't even walk, and I had to get a taxi, and
oh
my
my
mom was
God.
so angry. She was like, yeah, she was expelled and everything, but only for a year. She came back the
Oh,
next
she
year.
came back?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, anyway, I find this whole thing is like, this is real. They're awful
Oh
girls like
yeah.
that.
And it really tells you how psychologically developed girls, I guess, like, 'cause, they're under 18, like girls really are. The fact that girls can like psychologically manipulate you at
Oh
such a young
yeah.
age,
Oh,
and
Yes.
men
yeah.
just have no idea. I mean, like men are like, or boys, like when they're teenagers, like they have just such a like Chris, like in the story, like they just understand things on such a basic level that even if Sarah never put a spell on her, she could psychologically twist him in order to have
Yeah.
him come over to her.
Oh
It didn't even
yeah,
take magic. I
exactly.
mean,
Yeah.
girls are just really crafty and like know how to get what they want, and if they know what someone needs to hear at such a young age. Like you were saying, like that girl lured you. She knew that you would totally bite if she said, "Oh, I want to make up." And
Yeah,
then she just totally
exactly.
turned it. And she's young. She probably doesn't even know she's doing it, but she did,
I
and she
I
got
see
what she
that
wanted.
I see this stuff play out literally to this day with,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I know a 21-year-old girl who does, the same, like she must have been doing this since she was a very young kid because she's really good at it.
Yeah.
And
Even
it's
children can do it.
yeah, and it's something where, like if, I talk to guy friends about, something like that, it's very much like, I don't understand like what the big deal is, what is the action she's doing? And it's like, no, it's the internal manipulation
Yeah,
and
yeah,
mind play. The mind play, like
Yeah.
it's
yeah, it's
crazy what
crazy.
people can do.
And
Yeah, it's
also
really
like
crazy.
I feel that girls who, like, for example, Nancy, right? Like she was doing whatever she wanted because her parents didn't care about her. She was out all day. Like she didn't need to tell anyone what she was doing. And like I feel like that happens sadly when you have like divorced parents, or they have to be out working and you just have so much freedom. But this
Yeah.
same girl that I was telling you about, she had sex with the PE instructor. He was like 26 at the time. He was so old,
She was
right?
like 14.
And we're 14, and like we used to take like field trips, and everyone knew because she was
That's
like really
really tough.
developed. She had like boobs and like everything, right? So
I mean, was it something that she like openly talked about with
Yeah, how did you
people?
find
yeah, oh
out?
yeah, of
Or
course,
was it-
everyone
or-
knew. Except
Oh god.
yeah,
Because
everyone
that kind
knew.
of
Like
still to me, like she's under 18, she can't consent to that. I mean, even if she did, like that's still like
Depends on the
She had
country.
so
Depends
much
on the
experience.
laws.
That's
No,
true.
exactly. No, he could have gone to jail if they had found
Oh.
out. But
Oh.
she doesn't know what I mean. Like, you know, I was 14, naive and like clueless about everything, and she just was so experienced. Like she was like sleeping with like all the guys and including the teacher. You know, it's kind of
Lord.
it's messed up. So yeah, sometimes reality is kind of worse than fiction, you know.
This is why I'm glad I'm not in high school anymore. Like, I mean, I would like to be in high school in the sense of like having kind of more freedom and just kind of like doing things I didn't do in high school now when I'm younger. But when it comes to like psychological warfare and like making friends with girls, like I do not
Oh
want to
God,
go to high
no!
school
I
at
have
all.
to say, I couldn't. I would never. I hated high school so much. I hated just being that age. It was so hard. It's so
Yeah,
it is
I
really
you couldn't
hard.
you couldn't pay me to go back to high school.
No, same.
Yeah, so in all, for anyone listening who's young, like it gets better. It gets way better. It's not all so crazy. What did you guys think of the soundtrack? Have you heard the soundtrack?
That was another
Yeah.
of my favorite. Like that's what I really wanted to talk about.
Yes.
I got so excited. There was like Susie and the Banshees. There was Portishead. There was music that I had never heard before, but I was super into it.
Those two artists were not on the soundtrack because of
Yeah,
debates
why?
with their label.
Oh,
Portishead and Susie, yeah, and another
yeah,
band
because
too.
it's really weird that you totally hear Portishead, but then they're not on the soundtrack.
It's a
And
great song too.
Portishead's so great.
Yeah,
but
I love Portishead.
That was a great scene for that to be into. That was also a really upsetting, like, attempted rape scene, I thought.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was very upsetting.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
for it to be like not quote unquote graphic, but I mean, I was like really disturbed by that. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, no, great soundtrack. Although, like, it's very like, yeah, as you said, they didn't add all the actual music in the soundtrack. But my favorite song is like my favorite song they play in the entire film was "Tomorrow Never Knows" by the Beatles.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah,
It's a cover,
so
right?
great. It's
Like
so
Our Lady
great.
Peace, I think.
Yeah,
Is it?
I liked how so many
Yeah,
there were so
mhm.
many covers. There was
Oh,
a Smiths
yeah.
cover too.
There's Smith's cover.
Mhm,
It's
yeah.
soon.
Yeah, for How
yeah,
Soon Is
How
Now.
Soon Is Now. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I prefer the original. I don't like
Yeah,
that
I
one,
prefer
but I
the
mean, it's
original
not bad. But
But I
you know.
I
like the
don't
idea.
like the Beatles, so newsflash. I like
Oh,
almost every cover of every Beatles song better
oh
than
my
a
God!
Beatles.
What?
I have to
sorry.
say that is the one difference between me and Kurt Cobain. We are not Beatles simpaticos. I know he was really into the Beatles, but I don't get the hype.
Oh my God! I don't get
Don't
it.
get
How could you
They're
not?
I just think they're really overrated.
There has to be some songs you like. Come on,
Mm.
like.
I've never heard a Beatles song that I like more than a cover of a Beatles song.
Okay, but you haven't listened to all their music.
Have you ever seen Across the Universe?
I love
Yes,
Across the
I
Universe.
love that song.
And I love that CD. And when I
What?
listened to the soundtrack and went back and listened to the real ones, I was like, fuck this.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
Fiona
boring.
Apple.
you
Fiona
like
Apple
that
did a
movie.
pretty good job with that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just not a Beatles thing. I mean, they're cool. My mom had the Sgt. Pepper's record. Like,
Yeah,
she
that's
played
an
that when I was
amazing record.
young.
That's like one of
It's
the best
cool,
records
but
of all time.
I mean, yeah,
That's
not
fine.
for me. Yeah, not for me. But
Okay,
I did
fine.
like that
I
Our
grew-
Lady Peace Beatles cover though in the beginning.
I grew up on the Beatles. Like
Yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of people
same.
did.
yeah, I feel like that's just like the household band where it's like you have a Beatles CD somewhere.
That's probably where I differ. My parents weren't Beatles fans.
Mm,
So, yeah, so I didn't really grow up hearing it. But maybe if I grew up hearing it, it'd be like a
I
different.
think if you had, it would have like, you know, somehow like it would speak to you because like your childhood, like memories. I don't know, like yeah, same Jules. My dad was like, he still is like one of the biggest fans. So we had all the albums and everything.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of my favorite song. I think I might. Isn't there like a Letters to Cleo song? It's like dangerous type. It's when
I
it's
don't
like
know.
during the montage of them when they I think it's like when they're all walking in school. I think I sent you guys in the group text like a gif of it. It's like all four of them walking and they all have their uniforms
Oh
on. It's like
yeah.
slow-mo. I think it's a Letters to Cleo song that's playing called Dangerous Type. That is my favorite song. I love Letters to
Oh.
Cleo. They're also in 10 Things I Hate About You. Another
Yeah.
great.
Oh yeah. Oh please, can we do that one?
Well, we got it. Yeah, we got to do.
Oh yeah.
We
I've
also have
watched.
to do like Fight Club. Like I want to do like some, obviously like weirder, like Natural Born Killers too. I don't want it to be like all like hippy dippy, but yeah. I was like, I want to do something like dark and scary, and like fucking weird. But yeah, 10 Things I Hate About You is another great one. I love that movie.
Me
It's so
too.
good. It's
It
so
is just so good. Like that's what you aspire, like to have a boyfriend who's gonna sing like
just Heath
um
Ledger. I mean, he doesn't
well
even have to
yeah,
like do
he's so
anything.
hot.
He was just
He
like
was.
so good in that movie. And let's
Oh,
talk
rest
about
in
the
peace.
fashion.
Yes.
Fashion. Deborah Everton is the costume director, so shout out those Catholic uniforms.
Yeah, she was
Variations
amazing. She
were
did such
awesome.
a great job. But I don't think she did any other really iconic film after that though.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I
Not
don't know
that
any. I
not
checked it out. I didn't see anything cool. But anyway, I have to say, like my favorite thing was that vinyl trench coat that Nancy
Yes.
wears.
pull over people, that's just a siren in the background. In your car.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
I live like right on the corner, and like right on the corner is a firehouse.
Oh no, people might be listening in their cars or something and be like, "Oh my god." There's another podcast I listen to where they're like, "That's just a siren, people. Don't pull over. Keep on going."
So for the fashion, what I have to say is it has my three favorite just like aesthetics. It has, the schoolgirl take, and then there's black and floral. Like
Oh, like grungy dresses or like
yeah, like
yeah.
some days like they're like wearing just like super light floral pretty dresses, and then they're meeting that with wearing like all black and yeah like a choker,
Yeah.
and you kind of have like all three. You have like a very hard sense of style with like Nancy, and then let's like think of like Sarah when she first comes in. Like I think like halfway through the movie, Sarah's kind of transformed her whole fashion take from like being a sweet, innocent, good girl, and like she's wearing this like super sleek beret with these sunglasses and
Oh
wearing
yeah,
like
the
a
thigh
pencil
high.
skirt.
So
Yeah, and the
cool.
thigh highs, and she looks
Yeah.
bad as shit. Like she looks amazing.
Yeah.
And so I really liked Sarah's kind of evolution with her fashion.
Yeah, I feel like the costume designers did a really great job with like dressing them accordingly their personality. That was like because you know even though you wear school uniform, you still have personality and you add your own touch. I feel like did you used to wear like jewelry like that? Because we did like we used to like know what you were in school. Oh really? Oh wow. I feel like while you're at school you can't really be super funky, but as soon as like you were getting ready to leave for the day, you would like take your sweater and wrap it around your waist and like
Hike
show
your
your
skirt up.
necklace. Yeah,
Like, roll your
exactly.
skirt
Roll it. Roll it and like wear show your necklaces that wear like kind of underneath your top and roll the sleeves up and maybe add a denim jacket. I thought that was just so cool. Like and the trench coat, I think you call it PVC, but we call it vinyl.
Oh yeah. I had patent leather. I just had like Nancy just loves the patent leather. She has like or like vinyl patent leather. She has like the vinyl pants on later. She has
Yeah.
vinyl jacket, like trench
Yeah.
coat that she wears. And so
And
she wears a
that
lot of vinyl
think
or
about like that coat is still relevant now. Like
hell yeah.
literally it has been like people try to remake it every season with like a fur collar and like whatever, right? But I mean I have one. It's a raincoat that's like kind of PVC sort of thing. But I love that became sort of like a classic and like even now
Yeah.
I
I
feel
love
like
all the
girls
earthy like tones. They all have very earthy tones, even when they go out to the forest to do like the original spell when they get
oh
on the box.
yeah.
and they're all wearing this like Sarah has like kind of a grayish blue, someone else, I think Rochelle has on like a orangey, like a rust color, and then there's black. There's no neon, like there's no, like none of that kind of like Clueless style. This is like around the same era. So it's like not that era of LA, like Beverly Hills, like fancy. This is like downtown LA, like East Hollywood, like dark clothes. They're like hanging out when they go in the beginning and they go to that it's like where all those like seats are set up after that guy gets run over when they're just like
Yeah.
walking throughout the street.
Oh
And it's
yeah,
all, like,
yeah. That's a
super
cool
grungy.
street. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all like super grungy and stuff. So I like how I just like how they all wear like such neutral tones throughout it, and then they also obviously they have their like uniforms and stuff. I really like the one that Nancy has on when she gets the spirit, like when she like invokes the spirit. It's like a really oversized black leather jacket.
Oh
Oh
She
yeah.
has like
yeah.
a black dress that goes all the way down, and it's just like really oversized. It's really cool looking. I really like that outfit.
Yeah.
They all
I like
actually
it
have
too.
something like that. Nev Campbell has the same thing. She has like an oversized black leather jacket and like a long black dress. She kind of dresses like Nancy too. Like those are the two that wear black.
Mm-hmm.
The other two don't. They wear like the neutral colors, but I feel like Nev Campbell, she always wears like a variation of black, and then when she got her scars removed, she had like the white shirt on, and then she had like
So, Lauren, tell me something. The
What?
actress that plays Sarah, is she wearing a wig?
Yes.
Yeah, because her
I
hair
was
is so
wondering.
weird.
Yeah,
Her
because she
hair
shaved
looks
her head in Empire Records.
right.
That was
Yeah, I
real,
remember you said that because I was like, that hairline is so odd, and her hair
Mhm.
looks really thick, like really weird. Like she either
Yeah.
has like really curly, and they try to like
It's all
flatten it,
puffy.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all puffy. I was like, oh, this is so weird.
Yeah,
But
she's
yeah,
cool. She's really pretty. I like her.
I love Robin Tooney. She's really cool. She's in this really good independent film that I have that I had to buy on Amazon because it I think only came out on tape, but it's called Niagara, and it's so good. She's this girl who has Tourette's, and then she ends up meeting this guy, and they go on like kind of a road trip, but she like needs to get her medication, and like she's
Hmm.
really, really good.
Oh, it's weird. She was in Horse Girl. I don't recognize her. No, it
I
can't
don't even
be.
know what that is.
Okay, I'm just looking for
Horse
anything
Girl
that
is a
she's
new
done.
Netflix show.
It's
Oh, okay. I
no,
haven't seen
it's a film. It's a film, isn't it?
Oh, it's a film. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I've
that's
seen
right.
it.
It is
It's
a film.
really
I
good.
watched like the first 10 minutes and I was like, I'm not into this.
Oh, have you guys
Wait,
watched that
watching.
awful reality show people are talking about now?
What reality show?
That one on Netflix,
Uh,
like Too Hot to Handle.
Oh no.
no.
I couldn't get through it. Just
You
if you
told
guys
us to
wanna.
watch it. You
I
mentioned it
did
last
because I
week.
thought it was gonna be good, and then I started watching it, and I was like, "This is stupid." Not Love Island. I think they're trying to make it like a Love Island slash Love Is Blind slash whatever other thing for people to watch now that we're like kind of stuck in the house. But
Yeah.
did you guys have any standout scenes to like kind of wrap things up?
Yes.
Yeah, what are your favorites?
I mean, it shouldn't really be a favorite because it's so disturbing and
Oh
disgusting.
yeah,
But
I
I mean, that scene where Sarah is in her house and like everywhere she looks, it is like there are rats,
oh,
worms.
I always skip that.
It was only hard to watch when the rat fell on her back or like several
Yeah.
rats. I don't know, but I love how disturbing it is. Like I just love everything about when then in her house and then Nancy like tries to kill her and stuff. I mean, yeah, it's
This
so my
coming
kind of
from
thing.
someone who won't finish American Horror Story.
But no, but
You think that's not disturbing? Like, you think that's so disturbing, those bugs.
yeah, but I don't know. I like things that have shock value. I think.
Oh, okay.
I like that a lot. Yeah. I think that's like, and to be honest, every scene where Nancy is crazy, I like.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because she's so, I have to say, she's freaking amazing in the film. Like, she plays that role so well.
Have you seen American History X?
Yes.
She's
yes,
Edward
of course.
Norton's girlfriend.
It's amazing, yeah.
And she's also like Nancy, like a Nazi version of Nancy.
I
Wait, so-
couldn't watch that movie.
Oh,
Why? It's so
great.
good.
I love that.
The grocery scene like upset me so much. I like
Grocery?
yeah. It happens maybe like 20 minutes in.
You have to finish it because it's honestly one of the best films.
I'm trying to think of what happens in the grocery.
There's like a fight. There's like a fight that I don't remember its
Okay, I know now. Oh, that
Yeah.
wasn't that. The curbing was the worst. That part I can't see.
And she
The
hasn't
reason,
got to it, I think.
the reason, like, oh, okay,
Oh,
never
it's
mind.
okay. You can
Never
say
mind.
it.
You should no, I won't in case you haven't seen it. But
Okay.
you should see it. I feel like if you only need to watch it once, you don't need to watch it like multiple times. But
Yeah.
it's important to see though.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
film.
it's really
Like,
good. Yeah, and he definitely got robbed. Edward Norton should have gotten the Oscar that year.
Oh wow.
he should have. Who won it that year?
Russell Crowe.
Oh, God, for Gladiator?
No, I think For a Beautiful Mind.
Oh, God, that
I'll have
movie
to
was
double
so
check. I know
boring.
that he got robbed. And then another year, another Oscar robbery was Sean Penn should have won for I Am Sam, but that
Yes.
Italian guy won for like that Life is
Oh,
Beautiful.
La Vita Bella, yeah. But he was, sorry, but I have to say, yeah, that guy who played La Vita Bella was amazing, and that movie is like insane. So
I haven't
I
seen
disagree
it.
with
I just
you.
wanted
Yeah.
Sean Penn.
Well, if you haven't seen it, then you can't really say, can't
I
you?
just wanted Sean Penn to win. He should have won for I Am Sam. It was so good. It was heartbreaking.
No, I promise that La Vita Bella. Do you know what it's about?
No, I don't.
Okay, I swear, Lauren, you change your mind when you watch it. 'Cause
Really? Okay,
yes,
I'm gonna look this up. Oh, it's on
It's-
Hulu. Okay, I'm gonna look this
it's an insane film. But I mean, you have to wait. The beginning is it takes a while to, but it's an incredible story. I cry so much in that movie because it's about the Holocaust, and yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll watch it, I guess.
Jules, you should see it too.
Okay.
Have you seen it? Like,
No, I haven't.
Oh, cool. All right, what other standout scenes? Do you have any more, Jai?
No, that's it for me.
Jules, what are your standout scenes?
So I feel like, yeah, mine are kind of disturbing too, but I feel like they were just really good.
whole
So
thing is
my
terrible.
first that I would say standout scene, and I brought it up earlier, was the guy chasing Sarah with the snake. I just thought it was like, it was really scary, like maybe because it's like resonates with like my own fear of like being chased, and I just thought that was a really good standout scene. And it was just kind of a groundbreaking moment for the girls being like, hey, this happened, like that's kind of what really started their their pact. And then
That's true, yeah, because they all turned together.
yeah, and then I guess like another standout scene I think would be a Nancy scene, yeah, where she's in her bed. It's right at the end where everything's kind of closing in. We have closure on mostly this, the whole story now, and you see Nancy, and she's just like, you see her just degrade through the whole movie. You see her rise. They win, or they don't win, but they inherit that money from the abusive boyfriend. I thought that was also a very good scene. I hated that guy, and it kind of gave you a little like input. How we were talking about the girl who beat up Jai, like that. That type of behavior kind of comes from from trouble and pain coming in, within other people. And like, you kind of see like, yeah, this dude's shitty. So when they get all of his money and, she gets all of this, power, you really see her degrade. And I think like that bed scene was kind of the perfect, like symbolism of what happened to her.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes is when they buy the condo and her mom is like drunk with excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then wants to hang out with the girls.
Yeah, and then I love how like I love the outfits when they're all like, I think you mentioned it earlier, when Robin Tooney or Sarah has like the tam, like the beret, and they're all like walking into the building and they all like are dressed with like thigh highs and they all look really cool.
Yeah,
then,
that is cool.
Yeah, I love that their apartment's kind of empty but has this like 90s like kind of style.
I love that.
Yeah, it's like super 90s contemporary, I guess you could say. And like their couch is really weird too.
The couch is cool.
Yeah, and the jukebox. That just has nothing but Connie Francis. Connie Francis also was not on the soundtrack because of copyright. That was the other.
Oh yeah, that's such a good song.
Yeah, that was cool. And I liked I really liked the whole party. Like when Nancy goes to the party and she kills Chris. Like, I love that whole thing where she turns into Sarah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Sarah
that
walks
is cool.
in, and then it's like, I love her whole like feminism. Like, the only way you know how to treat women is by treating them like whores, and you're
Yeah.
and
And then she's
like,
flying.
yeah,
Well, she's like elevated. And,
yeah, and she's like on
yeah.
her feet, and then she's just like sliding, and he's just like, I'm sorry. And then she's
Yeah.
like, oh, and she just freaks
I'm
out.
telling you, every scene we're not seeing, like that's just good, you know.
Yeah,
She's
it's
so
so
wild. Yeah.
I love her. She's really cool. And apparently also I read that they also had a Wiccan advisor on set so that everything that they
Oh,
did and
I
the
see.
chants and things that they said were like I think they said respectful and like trying to be authentic. So
Hmm.
that's good too. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, this has been super fun. I'm glad got to rewatch The Craft and talk about it. I'm glad it was on Netflix. A lot of
Yes.
things are kind of, I don't know, they're like on some things and then they're not and couldn't find Empire Records, had to like figure that out. So that's cool that we all got to watch something that
Yeah, I have to add one thing. When I told Matthew that I was watching The Craft for this week, like rewatching it, he was like, "Oh, The Craft, that's such a good movie. I liked it. I actually watched it several times." So
Oh
it's cool
wow.
to hear that even,
Oh, that's
um,
cool.
a guy
Maybe
who's
he'll
like a bit older
listen.
than us. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe he'll listen to the episode. And as always, people review the podcast and give some likes and knock it up because I guess that's how you get seen. I guess I
Yeah.
should say that in the beginning, but if you've made it this far, then yeah, leave a review. But for the last 5 minutes, what have you guys been up to in quarantine? What have
Yeah, Jules, what you been up
yeah, what
to?
are you doing? Yeah, me and Jai talk about it.
I've just been doing music, taking care of, my plants. I've been working on like learning how to animate. I'm not good at it yet,
Oh,
but I'm like
wow, cool.
learning. Because yeah, there's like apps for it now. You can just like draw on your iPad and stuff. But yeah, like not too much, just trying to like reflect and it's okay to be bored. Creativity comes from boredom.
That's true.
Yeah, what about you guys?
You were
I
about
mean,
you, Lauren.
I don't know. I added a bunch of things to my art cart, like on dickblick.com, like the art store.
Mm-hmm.
So I added a bunch of like I'm gonna do some like mixed media collages. I'm actually shooting a little bit later today via
Oh
webcam.
yeah, cool.
Yeah, so
You
I'm
did
gonna
that
do
shoot,
some.
Lena.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna do like a few other things, but I don't really know what I'm doing, and I didn't want to give. I'm trying to do the thing where I don't give the models any inspiration, so I'm just letting her do whatever she wants to do because I don't really know what I'm doing yet. So
Yeah,
there's just
that's
that,
cool.
and archiving some old film. I found a bunch of things like I need to put in sleeves, so I guess I'm just gonna rescan some stuff and yeah, reading. I want to read this really good book about well, it's by Tom O'Neill. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast like last week about like Charles Manson and the CIA. So I'm
Oh, you told me about it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I
it sounds
sent you
pretty
guys the
cool.
links to that. It's really like deep dive. Like if you want to get into something crazy and weird, then I guess it's something to get into. But yeah, I want to read something like that. Kind of want to read something that's like a nonfiction, like an investigative like report, instead of just watching like true crime documentaries. I kind of want to read something about it. So yeah,
Yeah.
about it.
Nice. Well, this has been fun.
It's been so fun, and yeah, we will see you on the next one.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, Lauren.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.